Welcome, ladies. This is Kathy Washira. Welcome to Lady in Waiting. In this channel, we discuss everything relationship before marriage, and we gain wisdom concerning certain things. And not everything is for everyone, but whatever is for you, I pray that you will receive it, and I advise on a godly perspective. And I'm back today to speak on age. Does age matter when it comes to the person that you are engaged to, or the person that you're dating? And I answered the first one. And the first one was uh, if the person is much older than me. And I've done that. So if you've not watched that, kindly go, because now I'm going to the one that is the most controversial and the one that has a lot of fire. If the man is much younger than you are. Okay? So that is what we are going to discuss today. And even as I begin that, I want to welcome all our new viewers and new subscribers. Welcome, and I pray that you'll continue to walk this journey with us. And kindly subscribe if you have not, and like the video. It's good for the channel. So even as I begin this, I want you to understand that marriage is a covenant. It is not a contract where you sign in and sign out when you feel that things are not going well. No, it is a covenant. So even as you make these decisions, you have to understand that you're going to make a decision entering a covenant, and God is a covenant keeper. So even as you choose to marry someone much younger than you, understand that. And the reason why I'm saying this is very, very controversial, because many people believe that you should not marry a man that is younger than you if you're a lady. And if you ask me, I will tell you, if you ask me, I'll tell you yes and no. And that depends also. And I will go back to the same verse that I read on when I was talking about the man who is much older. The verse says, for which of you intending, that is Luke chapter 14, verse 28 to 29, for which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it? So if any one of you wants to enter marriage with a younger man, sit down, count the cost, and ask yourself, will you go through this marriage and finish it? Lest after he has laid the foundation, after they have gotten married, is not able to finish, and all who see it will begin to mock them or to mock him. So that is why. So understand that love is blind, but it is not deaf, and wisdom is calling out. So listen to wisdom. So when we are talking about someone younger, again, I'm not talking about 2-3 years. That's the same age group. When I talk about younger, I'm talking about things that are much older. Someone who is 10, 20, all those years, that it is very controversial, according to men, for you to marry your maybe you're a lady and you're 50 and the man wants to marry you is 30. You're a lady, you're 40, and the one wants to marry you is 25. I'm talking about those controversial, Can they work? Compared to the older man, not so much. I know of people who their husbands are much younger than them, but they're not as many as the ones I know who the husband is much older. Okay, that is why I'm saying this. In this particular group, it's very, very slim, and that is why we need wisdom, in more wisdom in this particular group. And I'm saying this because the problem we have with this particular group, most of the time, this is why it doesn't work, because the motive normally is much worse in this one. Because you find it is a younger man who is going for an older woman because the older woman is economically better. But you see, the man is not going because he's in love. He's going because his economical problems are going to be solved. And then once they are solved, he'll start dating a younger. And that is why now this one, you need a lot of wisdom. You have to, as a woman, you have to know, is this man really in love, or is it they're just after my money, or they're after my, because it's very hard. It's not, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not easy to find a young rich man marrying an old poor woman. It is normally the other way. Okay, so and you, the lady, let me speak to you. You, the lady, why do you want to marry this younger man? Ask yourself, is this the will of God, or are you just desperate because this is the only person who has come? And I'm not saying that younger people cannot come to date older women. I've talked to men who have married older women, and I always ask them why, and they'll tell me They just, this a decision they had. They wanted someone who is mature. They don't want people who they have to keep on having small issues with. I don't know how true that is, but that is what they always say. So, and I've seen one European president, one of these European countries, the wife is much older than him and they're living. I don't know. So, and I'm very cautious with this. I'm very cautious with this because I don't want you to leave and go and say, oh, it has been said, it is possible. It is possible, but it is harder. And the possibility is very slim. Very slim. Okay? So make sure it is love and not depression, not desperation. Make sure you're in love and you're not just desperate because this is the only person who has availed themselves. Because some of times when a man is economically low, they can do anything. They can marry a man, older woman just because they have no hope. So it's better this one than nothing, you know. Number two, as a lady marrying this older man or younger man, sorry, make sure he works or he has business. In other words, he can also provide for the family. He's not coming to leech on you. I'm going to be just straightforward with you concerning this one. Make sure he works, whether he's doing business or he has a job. He can also provide. He's coming also to provide for the family. He's not coming to leech on you, because if you go and marry someone and start to dress them and start to give them and to make them, you're trying to make them into a husband, my friend, the end is going to be the way we know it is going to be. So make sure he's a real husband coming in, okay? And also, are you ready to face what your family is going to say? Though sometimes they might not even, because we're telling people how old this person is, that is your own personal whatever. But also, family, sometimes people can see this person is younger, you know. So are you ready to face your parents and your family and your friends, you know? If you have the courage, can you confidently go with this man out or somewhere and say, this is my husband? If you can you respect him and submit to him? Very important question, and one of the most important. Can you see this man as the leader of that marriage, as the leader of that home? Can you respect him and submit to him? Because if you can't do this, then you better don't do it. Because the Bible says that women, we must respect our husbands and submit. Though in the marriage we submit one to another, but remember, this now is you're not going to say that, you know, I'm 50 years old, you're 30, you were born just the other day. What I eat, you can't, because you're going to be the wife. Then this man is going to lead you. Are you ready to be led by that man who is 20 years younger than you? Are you ready? Because if you're not ready, they don't get into it. And one thing I know with respect, I know the people who always say respect is an issue in this matter. Respect is a character issue. I don't think it's an age issue, because I've seen women who are younger than their husbands and they still disrespect their husbands. So for me, respect is a character issue. It is not an age issue. It is a character issue. Someone who is respectful will respect. They will respect their age mates, their underage mates, their overage. They will respect. So it is a character issue. So look at your character. Are you ready to respect? Are you ready to submit yourself under the power and control of the word of God and say, I'm going to respect this man, I'm going to submit to this man? If you cannot answer that question, then don't get into it. Will he want to be with you when you're much older? He's 40 and now you're 70. Or he's 40, you are now 60. We listed, those are the things you need to sit down and discuss. Find out about his background, because I'm not saying that there are no younger men who want to marry. They are there. But what is their motive? Speak, talk to them, find out. Find out. Listen, put your ears on the ground, So God, and I'm saying this, I don't want to say no. Never do I want to say no, because I've seen in the Bible, God sometimes makes people do things. So I can't sit here and say it is impossible. No. But as I said, it's very slim. So in this particular one, you need a lot of wisdom, you need a lot of discernment. And if he's coming in as a husband, then he better come in with all the qualifications of a good husband. He has to become there as a provider. He's coming there as a leader. He has to be mature, because there are some young people who are very mature. He's not coming there to start jumping around. When you are sleeping, him is going to the disco. Then that is not a husband. Are you getting me? So if he's mature, there are people who are young, and if he's mature, let him come in as a mature. Yes, I understand you're a mature lady, so there's a kind of lifestyle you're not going to live. If he's still coming and he still wants to live, jump around with small girl, then that is why I say this one is very difficult, but I will tell you, be very wise. if you are not sure, if you're not able to answer those questions, if you cannot say that you're not desperate, you're not desperate. If you can say, in other words, if you can say you are not desperate, if you can say that you can walk with him in public without any shame, if you can say that he will be with you even when you're much older, if you can say that he's working, he's a provider, in fact, when you retire, he'll continue providing for you, then the choice is yours. But if you cannot answer those questions, I think it is high time you see how this dating, this thing is coming to an end, because you're going to put yourself in trouble and into a shameful thing, and people will laugh, just as that verse is saying. You started something that you cannot finish. But the answer again is still yes and no. Though in this particular one, it is very, very thin. So it takes very, very few people can pass through it and manage. So be wise and find out why. Find out why. They are single. There are younger men who are widowers, and for some reason, after their wife passes away, they now want to marry an older woman because they don't want things to go back to, So those are some of the things you consider. Ask yourself, why is this person going to be with me? All that. Though even in marriage, I'm not speaking like this to say that marriage, when you marry your age mate or someone older than you, there's guarantee. Everything is work. Whether you're marrying your age mate, younger than you, older than you, it is work. So if you're ready to do the work, then. But if you're not ready to do the work, please don't get into it, because remember, marriage is a covenant, and God is a covenant keeper. May the Lord give you wisdom and courage and strength to make the right decision. And also subscribe